Hi there everyone, and welcome back to another Drummer Artificer Studios. I'm Alex, and in today's video I'm going to be actually building up a new rig to hold my cameras. So far all my footage I've been doing using GoPros, but I also have, for all my work as a artist when I was going through my master's program, I went and bought a nice, shiny, big, expensive DSLR camera. So I want to start trying to use this to do a lot more video recording. But I don't have a really good way of holding it or mounting external microphones or lights or anything like that to it. So instead of going and buying something, I decided I would make something for it. So I sat down the other day and started looking at designs online and what other people have done and professional ones you can buy and all sorts of stuff like that. And I actually realized I had something that I could use and simply modify to fit my needs. So a few years ago, I got an old Polaroid camera from a friend that actually converted into a mount to carry my GoPros when I go to conventions and stuff like that. So it still opens the same way as a regular Polaroid camera, but I cut out the front and all the internal components so the GoPro can slide right into the camera. And then the back of it has the housing cut out, and I built a custom holder to be able to pop my cell phone into it, so I can link the phone to the camera, and now I have touch controls for the GoPro right on the back of the Polaroid case. But I can still use part of this for the new camera. Specifically, just this handle. It fortunately comes off by a simple screw, and now I've got this nice arm with a tripod bracket on it that I can just use to screw straight into the back of the camera. I had gone and removed the original flash from the Polaroid and actually put in an LED flashlight so that I can use this as an external camera light as I'm filming. I have to do some modification to this to make it fit the camera, and it's already nicely designed to be able to fit my hand so that when it's on there the way I want it, it'll go pretty well with the camera. So in this video I'll be showing you how I take this handle and modify it to fit this. Shouldn't be too difficult, but let's see exactly how I decide to do that. So here's the flash off of the old Polaroid, and I'm going to be modifying it to fit onto the battery pack for my DSLR. Now I don't want to use the exact hole that was already done because that will just be a very wide camera. I can eventually do that, but I want to make it so it's a lot closer. But the first step I have to do, obviously, is there's a lip on here from where it attached to the old Polaroid, and I have to take this lip off. So I'm going to be doing that using a jeweler's saw. It's similar to a coping saw, except it uses an extremely fine, small blade, so you can get very precision cuts with it. Before I start cutting this or marking it, though, I'm going to unscrew it here and take it off the rest of the handle so that it's easier to manipulate. I'm then going to come back in, score and draw lines of where I want to cut it, and then I'll use the jeweler's saw to cut that off. First step is going to be taking it off and then trimming this down. So let's start with that. Okay, so that's now been trimmed down, nice and flush. I'm not going to bother doing any sanding or anything, it will fit fine. So the way I'm going to be doing this is I have gone out and purchased a clamping knob. That's the same threading as the original tripod mount. So what I'm going to be doing is using that with a nut that I'm going to file down a little bit to fit into the space for the hand strap here. And that will be what I use to help keep it from wobbling around. I'm then going to come in and drill a new hole and thread it so that I can use the original tripod mount, and that will hold it on, giving me 2 points of contact, so it shouldn't really pivot around any. So now that I have that trimmed down, I have two things to try, but I'm going to primarily go for a cross dowel nut. I've used a lot in furniture and woodworking, and that I can cut down to fit in there, and then maybe cut some off the other way to put in. So I took one of the peg nuts, cut it down to length, then cut it in half, and it actually fits perfectly in the groove on the bottom. So I'll be able to use that to keep it from wiggling on me. So that is now set and ready to go. So now I'll just have to mark and drill the hole for the other post. So that should be where I have to drill the hole. So now I'll be able to come back in, drill the hole right there, and thread it so that I can pop this guy in place, and I'll have that done. I've got my hole drilled. Now I'm going to have to tap it. So to fit that, it's a 1/4 inch by 20 tap. So I'm just going to thread it through. I'm going to do it from the bottom since it's a steel plate on the bottom and plastic on the top. By doing it through the bottom first, the steel would bite it first rather than the plastic, and less chance of the plastic getting stripped out. Preferably you want to do this in a vise so you can be sure that it's going straight up and down. Now, because the way this one is designed, it's got no threading on the bottom here. So the threads go through, it hits this will wobble around loose, but then that makes it so that it can really tighten it down onto the camera. And there we go, now the threading is all the way through. It's a little bit loose, but then I'll be able to crank it down and tighten it. And that appears to be stable enough that I don't even think I'm going to need those little tabs to go back in. So let's reassemble this, and let's see what it looks like once it's on the camera. There we go. I now have a secondary handle for the camera, primarily so I can use it while videotaping. That actually still has a mount so I can hook it onto a tripod. So if you can manage to find a Polaroid or something like that, and you want to try something like this, shouldn't be too difficult. Bye.